Yes, this will be a bit different from what we've seen so far, although Teemu kind of spoiled it with the tattoo comment earlier, because we will return to that, kind of. Jouni will now take us on a journey for a sneak peek into the ICT-enhanced school life of a young student in Turku, Finland. And what I hopefully, this story that you're going to hear is going to provoke some thought, because this is also kind of a trip into the future, because this will be your student in about 6 years.
Okay, thank you. This is Maria, and she's now 11 years old. And what I'm going to tell you about is going to be very much face-to-face setting. It's going to be contact instructions, and the online tools will be there to enrich the experience. And also the other digital tools. So we are, of course, when we are talking about children who are from age 6 and upwards, of course, the online tools are not the primary tools at that point. They are always usually with the teacher and the peers they have in their group. Let's start by going back a little. I just said Maria is now 11, but 5 years ago she was in preschool. And that was an exciting time, because at that point we had the computers and other technology in schools for quite a long time. The unit where I come from, the Center for ICT Learning, is now celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. And ever since, the computers and technology has been just making its way through education, and I think finally it's now happening. But in the preschool setting, this is something that is actually quite new in Finland also. It's just been introduced at that level only 5 years ago. And when Maria in preschool has learned to use technology as a part of her studies, it's not there really to replace anything. It's more there to enrich and offer new approaches to learning tasks, and sort of technology is there to help. For instance, on the top left corner, you can see this app we made in city of Turku. It's an app where they can learn how to draw those letters they need to learn by the end of preschool. And we made an app, and we shared it with all the other preschools and first grade classes in Finland. It's available for anybody to download from the app stores if you want to. They use it for drawing, but they still use a pen and pencil and other stuff. Parents, parents might be a bit worried that now technology is in this level. Will they do all things they used to do? Will they learn to do things by their hands? Yes, they will, and Maria did too. And there's also a social aspect of using, for instance, you can see Skype on that one picture. They have used Skype connecting to another preschool on the other side of the town, and they have been sort of online friends, and one child left one preschool for a year to be in Costa del Sol, and they communicated through Skype. So technology is there to sort of making the children active also. I think that's one of the most important things on all levels at the moment in Finland. The active role of student is something, well, we have talked about it a lot today, and it's also here on all levels. We want to make the student's role more and more active all the time. Of course, on these levels, it's always been active. But nevertheless, it's still a very important thing. We have one strength, and it's trained teachers. Our teachers are highly trained, and on this level, on preschool level, they have. Maria's teacher was a Bachelor of Education, and all children 7 years and older are taught by teachers who have a master's degree. So that is one strong point. And now teachers in Finland have a lot of freedom, I think probably more freedom than anywhere else, to do the instruction the way they see the best. But also, of course, that comes with the responsibility too. Then you have to make sure that what you do is what is effective and what is according to curriculum, and what is something that will end in good results. If there's something that's impossible to do, you cannot force a Finnish teacher to do anything. And that also applies to technology. You have to, and it's my job and my team's job to convince them that technology is helpful It helps learning, it helps motivation, and ICT in itself is a skill that children would have to learn throughout the years. So we can't just force them that you have to use ICT. It is now in the national curriculum that you have to use it, but nevertheless, if we want it really to happen, we have to convince them. We have to find all the teachers on all those levels we work with. I personally work with teachers from preschool to primary, secondary, upper secondary, vocational, even adult education. Different subject, different age groups, they all need different things, and that's what is really important. And that's why we need teachers need help in that, finding the tools they find the best for their teaching. We are now finally getting in the phase which we have been waiting for a long time. As I said, my unit was founded 30 years ago, and ever since there's been ICT and there's been other learning. It's been sort of a separate thing. A few years ago you went to that ICT lab to work with computers, and then you came back to your classroom to do other things. But now we are finally getting to that stage because we have more devices and teachers are trained and teachers have the confidence to do that, where the technology is a natural part of a classroom. As you can see in the picture, in this picture Maria has a textbook, she has her notebook, she has a tablet from the school and also her own smartphone there. And you can use whatever is best at any situation. You don't have to choose your tools regarding of what's available. And to support this idea, City of Turku will be the first bigger city in Finland that's moving to one-to-one environment starting next year. There are some smaller towns that have done it, but we are doing it next year. So we are getting personal devices for all children from age 10 to 16. And the idea behind that is not that they'll be doing everything with technology and all the time, and we would throw away all those textbooks and all those notebooks. No, the idea is that technology is available when you need it, and you don't have to sort of plan your own learning regarding when do I have an opportunity to use technology. And also teachers know that whenever I need technology, it's available, and they know what technology that is. In the new national curriculum, they are trying to break the subject barriers. They are not taking them down. As some news had said that Finland no longer has subjects. That's not the truth at all. But they are trying to smoothen the edges and to make teachers cooperate more. And also studying through phenomena is one way of doing that. And it also gives students freedom to do things creatively and together. Gamification is also coming away, I would have to say slowly but steadily it's there. It is one of the aspects that's coming. Maria has not only played some educational games, which by the way there are not many available in Finnish. It's a totally different situation if you are in a country where the language area is bigger, but we have something that can be used. But Maria has also been involved in a project we are running that our students are making 100 learning games by themselves, and they have a teacher who is 1 year off from her job, and she is there to instruct them on how to do those games. In the new national curriculum, ICT is one of the 7 core skills you have to learn through your school, and something that all the teachers will have to recognize. Among those ICT skills, especially in mathematics, there's a new thing is coding or programming. That's something that teachers have been now very interested in getting trained, because teachers realize that this is something I really don't know, and that they are learning it now. And Maria has also an opportunity to do some coding, and it's nowadays quite easy actually, because there are nice tools for all. You can find very nice tools for all ages to approach the problem. And teachers also, when they participate on those courses we organize, they've been very relieved when they realize that okay, I can approach this with this age level quite easily. It's not too difficult. I don't have to be very highly proficient in coding and programming to do this. It's all about logic. It's all about your thinking skills and so on. We're trying to grow learners who know can choose tools for themselves. For instance, this is a music lesson where these boys are making music without using an iPad, but you can also make music using traditional instruments or without instruments. And the role of technology should be just that. That you can even the student themselves can choose when is a good time to use technology. When do I want to do this way or that way? And teacher, of course, should be there to guide them, and also to make sure that maybe it's not. Maybe everybody should also get all kinds of experiences, but also they should have a control on their own learning, and that through that becomes responsibility. Consuming information, we have talked about this today quite a lot, so I don't stay here for a long time, but instead of consuming ready-given information, we should move on to knowledge building. And this is Maria's history book. She's making it herself, collecting information. And this is something that technology definitely makes easier today to do. We have several tools for it. This is Book Creator. We also use OneNote quite a lot in the city of Turku, and so on. So it's now much more easier to do this than before because of technology. Collaboration is mentioned many times. I won't go that anymore. But when Maria and her partners have made a project together collaboratively, they can also share it online. We have this platform we have made for them where all the schools in the city can publish those wonderful projects the children have done. And it's all the students in all the schools, all the parents and all the people in the city, or anybody who is interested can come to this site and see what the children have done, and they can participate and communicate by liking it or commenting on the material. And of course, we have seen that it's a great motivational thing that when you do something like that and you understand somebody might actually watch it, it's something that's really makes it possible, because before technology, if you did something, you did a nice drawing, the best spot, you probably got it, on the wall outside the classroom, and that was the biggest audience you could get. But nowadays, you can really get a good audience and feedback from people anywhere. Digital material, I think, is there. Maria has a textbook. Maria has some digital books, but the number of that will increase as we go to one-to-one, and when they come as good as the old material, because currently the situation is that the new digital material isn't always as good as the old printed material. And teachers, again, when they have the power, they won't change from the printed material to digital if the new one is not as good, and why should they? So maybe we should wait that it's as good or better. Finally, if we go to upper secondary school, this means our basic education, our comprehensive schools is grades 1 to 9. After that, some students go on to vocational studies, some go to upper secondary school, and if they are aiming for more academic career. And in upper secondary school, we have our first and only national tests, so we don't have any national tests the first 9 years, but here we have, at the end of the upper secondary school, that we have this national test called matriculation examination, and that's, as you know, what you test is what you teach, and it shows here quite well. And they are now shifting the national tests to digital. So last autumn, actually this autumn, I mean, the first digital tests were introduced, and they will be introducing more and more of them. So so within 2.5 years, all these tests will be digital. At this moment, the teachers in this school, at the school level, are very oriented and focused on those tests. But they also, the shift is clear. I think now it's becoming evident at the classroom, the everyday work in the classroom, the everyday learning will also become more digital when the final test is digital. So I think that's a very important change they have made, even if the test in itself is not as advanced yet as it could be, but it's a good start, and I think it will get better and better. And we are, in Turku, we have introduced bring your own device for this level, so they have the devices whenever they need it. available. And now it's up to the teacher to have the courage and the energy and the interest to use it also, not only in testing, but also in everyday life. Yes. Salla.
So coming back to Maria then, Maria is going to be in your lecture room or your class in 6 years. Now, actually I have a question more like an ending. Is higher education ready for Maria and the background information and the knowledge and the skills that Maria has? Because she's been practicing online learning and coding and ICT enhanced learning since the age of 5. I mean, none of us did that, right? And that's not the problem. It's not only Maria, you know, it's Javier, it's Matt, and it's Svetlana, and it's Milica, and it's Salla, and it's all these people who all have a diverse background in ICT enhanced learning. They have so many tools available. They all know something different. They probably know it better than us, let's be fair. Are we prepared? That's my question to you.